Hey, and welcome back to Baking in the Bullpen episode 2. Today we are going to work with bagels. This is another overnight recipe, so we're gonna have to come back tomorrow to finish it up. So we're gonna start with our dough. We have 4 cups or 482 grams of King Arthur bread flour. We're gonna put in 1 tablespoon of yeast, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, and 1 1/4 cups of lukewarm water. And this kind of recipe needs a lot of kneading, so we're gonna mix it all together and then knead it for about 10 minutes. Now that it's sort of mixed together, and because I don't really have a good electric mixer, I'm going to start just kneading it by hand for about 10 to 15 minutes. When you're working with bread flour, you really have to make sure you knead it a lot. A lot of bakers or new bakers will not knead the bread dough as much as they should, and that's going to come out not as risen as you want. It could really affect the taste too, so we're gonna definitely make sure that we're gonna knead for probably the full 15 minutes. We are now at the end of our 15 minutes of kneading this wonderful dough. It's very stiff, which is great because that's what it needs to be. So we're gonna put it in a ball. We're gonna lightly grease our bowl, and now it gets to sit and rise for about 1.5 hours. It's going to get noticeably puffy, but not double the size, so we're just gonna keep a good eye on it, and if it's done in 1 hour, then it's done in 1 hour. Now that it's risen for about 1.5 hours, we're going to separate it into individual rolls and then let it raise for 30 minutes. If you want bigger rolls or bigger bagels, you're going to have 8, and if you're gonna have normal size, we're gonna have about 12. We're gonna do normal just because I want more bagels. So we have our balls that have risen for about 30 minutes, and now we're going to actually shape them into what bagels look like. So according to King Arthur, you're just gonna take your index finger, poke a hole in the middle of it, and just twirl it. And you want about 1.5 to 2 inches of, a hole in there, making sure that you don't tear anything or anything like that. Plop it down, do the next one. It's the next morning, and we have taken the bagels out. They've been sitting and getting into room temperature for about 2 hours now. We've also already done our water bath, and what that is 2 quarts of water, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. So the bagels are gonna go in the water bath for about 3 minutes total time, and then once they're done with that, then they're gonna go into the oven. So this kind of came to a gentle rolling boil. We're gonna bring it down to simmer real quick. And we're gonna put as many as we can in there and still be able to flip them. So I'm thinking 3 or 4 with what we've got here. Perfect. So they're floating all nice, which means they've raised exactly how they were supposed to. Yeah, I'm gonna do 3 for right now. So we're gonna let it sit in there for 2 minutes, then we'll flip it and let it cook for another 1 minute, and then we'll bring them off and do the rest. All right, time to flip. Go. Beautiful and bubbly. Okay, so now we've got some decisions to make. What kind of bagels do you want? These can go straight into the oven at this point if you just want a plain bagel. We are actually going to do the everything seasoning bagel. You're just going to put an egg wash over it, sprinkle those seeds pretty liberally on there, and then we're gonna pop it in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes, depending on how brown you want your bagels. All right, it's oven time. Okay. They're out of the oven. We kept them in there for about 23 minutes just to make sure that they were nice, golden brown. They smell amazing. We're gonna let them cool completely, and then we'll see how they taste. All right, so now we get to try our bagels. We're gonna definitely start with the top so we can get that everything seasoning. That's good. Tastes like a bagel. The cream cheese is really good with everything. Oh, it's awesome. Thank you for tuning in to Baking in the Bullpen episode 2. We'll see you next time.